So Gen X is known to be skeptical, and that can be one of our greatest superpowers, especially in the time that we're living in today. But like all superpowers, skepticism needs a little training, a little honing, and that's what today's video is about. I'm going to explain why Gen Xers are uniquely talented when it comes to being skeptics, and how that skill can not only help us, but we can help the other generations as well. So first I want to talk about why is Gen X the skeptical generation? So when we were growing up, we knew to use qualified sources when it came to acquiring information. Back in the day, if you needed information, you just didn't go to some random website. We went to the library and checked out actual books. Today, someone can make a 15-second TikTok video and be an expert in nutrition, real estate investing, and geopolitics all at once. When you come from knowing the real thing, it's easier to spot a fake. We've lived through junk mail, scams, chain letters that promised you bad luck if you didn't send it to 25 more people, pyramid schemes, 1-900 numbers that would give you a $100 phone bill for a 5-minute call, telemarketers, 30-minute infomercials with items that were just too good to be true. That's the age we came from. We've got experience watching corporations, politicians, and the media all lie to us, so we've learned how to spot it. The second point I want to discuss is how to protect ourselves and others from all of this online scams and misinformation. Now, Gen X has the advantage of growing up in a time between the end of the analog age and the beginning of the digital age, and we're the bridge between those two. I truly believe that that gives us instincts that the other generations don't have. We should help our older family members, our older friends that maybe aren't as tech savvy. Help make them aware of the common things that are out there today. Now, with the younger generations who grew up more in this digital age, their risk involves they tend to overshare online. But even though they've grown up with this technology, it's still, with them being younger, they don't have the exposure to spot some of these things that are out there. If you get a phone call, text, email from a government agency, it's probably fake, especially if it sounds urgent, like you need to do something right now. Those are almost always scams. If anyone wants you to buy gift cards in order to get you out of your predicament, your supposed predicament that you're in, gift cards, that's a red flag. If someone is trying to communicate to you that your account has been hacked, hang up or don't click on any of the links. Just go to that account, find the official phone number, and call them yourself. If the call or the text was initiated by someone else, don't give out any personal information. If you initiate the call and you're sure that you are calling the right number, only then do you share your personal information. Don't answer any calls that you don't know. Don't respond to any texts that you don't know. Even if you just want to say, hey, you've got the wrong person. I don't even do that anymore. I get those texts all the time, or I used to, from FedEx that says they couldn't deliver my package and click this link so that we can get your package to you. Those are all scams. My mom would get a lot of texts and voicemails from AT&T saying that she still had a remaining balance on her account to call this number so she could take care of it. We don't even have AT&T. I think we need to come to terms that a lot of the dating sites, Craigslist, I mean, they're lurking with scammers, hunting prey. I think we just need to stay away from them. Also, there are the fake real estate listings, the fake Airbnb rentals, fake job listings even. I mean, we have to be on guard all the time. Now, I think most of us have had it drilled in that we don't post our vacation photos on social media in real time. But another thing we need to think about is don't flaunt things, possessions, jewelry online either. Now, here's another thing that you can do. I have several email addresses. They're free, but I have purposes for each one. I have my regular email address that I just use for everyday stuff. I have one that I use for things that I probably don't want to give my email address to, but you have to anyway to sign up for a free account or to download something. I have one specific email address that I devote to all of my financial, banking, whatever. I just think it's smart to keep those things separated. The third topic I want to talk about is fighting back against corporate greed and manipulation. Now, I've always had a general mistrust for companies, advertising, brands. I mean, they always want you to think that they are your best friend, but really they just want to get money from you, plain and simple. Now, if I want to buy your product, that's fine, but I'm under no impression that you want what's best for me. You want my loyalty, but it's not a two-way street. Now, if we can just stay aware of this principle, I think we can see straight through a lot of the marketing ploys that are used to manipulate us. I mean, we see your new and improved, your shrinkflation, your limited time offer. We see through all of that. We're not stupid. And you know the buy now, pay later that's really popular out there everywhere? That's just Fingerhut 2.0. You remember Fingerhut? I mean, at least they had a physical catalog that you could look through and take your time. And, you know, nowadays it's just the click of a button and you've bought whatever and you've got 5 installments. You know, and there may not be any fees or interest associated with it. There may be, but then there might not. And you think, oh, what's the harm? I mean, it's still a way for you to spend more than you normally would. If you had to pay for that whatever in one big chunk, you might not spend that money today. And the fourth point I want to get across is questioning health trends and medical misinformation that's out there. Now, Gen X has seen every fad diet and miracle cure come and go. We've lived through low fat, no fat, fen-phen, Jenny Craig, Atkins, that's just to name a few. A billion-dollar industry that was born around the time we were. Now for me, I try to be very aware of how much I'm spending on health supplements, superfoods. I can get carried away with that. So I've set myself a budget and I've been able to stick to it. I don't allow myself to spend over this amount at any given time. But I always like to do my research on things. I try not to get too far out there on some of those ideas. And I've just learned to question everything. Now the fifth thing that I want to cover is staying financially smart, especially in the unstable economy that we're experiencing and living in right now. Now, as Gen Xers, we've lived through stock market crashes, recessions, housing bubbles. We've seen a lot regarding the economy. And every time the economy gets shaky, that's when I start hearing more talk about gold and crypto and foreign currencies and annuities. I just stay on the same course and I don't get pulled out into the weeds. I think that you can invest your money in the stock market, in mutual funds, based on whatever risk tolerance you have. But when you start getting into these special things, that's just too much risk for me. We have to watch out for these hidden fees. I mean, today, there's no excuse really to have a bank that charges you fees for having a checking account or a savings account. I have an online banking account. It's a reputable bank. It's been around for years. They charge no fees. No fees at all. Also, there are just too many credit cards out there to where you don't have to pay an annual fee for a credit card. Another place where fees can be kind of disguised is in our investment accounts. And I think it's really good if you can research the accounts that you're invested in, get on the phone if you need to, talk to one of the financial representatives at the place that you have your investments with, and tell them to break down the fees that are associated with it, if there are some. There are a lot of no-fee index funds out there. Now, you don't have to put everything in that, but if you can minimize the fees over the long run, you're going to save a lot of money. And I see a lot of older people, maybe even younger people, but I see a lot of older people that they have no idea how many fees they're paying. I don't think we need life insurance policies at all if there is someone not depending on your income should something happen to you. And the last point I want to make is to use skepticism to think critically, not just to be negative. Now, skepticism, I've described, is a superpower, but it can really easily turn into cynicism and, seeing everything as bad. I have to watch that myself. I can start thinking that everything is a scam or a trap or a bad idea. But with so much of our lives lived online now, I think we do need to assume there could be danger in a lot of the things we're doing online. The odds of someone out there making contact with us that either want to scam us, steal our identity, steal our trust, the risk is high. Now, that assumption isn't just paranoia, but it is a way for us to sharpen that skill, because a lot of these attacks, they come in at a moment's notice when we're unprepared, when we're already busy, and they'll always tell us that we have to do something now. They'll put fear into us. So if we can sharpen this skill, that way we can access it in those critical moments when we need it the most. It's what makes us stop and pause before we answer that call, before we just give out that personal information, before we take that deal. But this is the line that we have to walk every day. And we have to question ourselves. When do we trust our instincts, trust our gut? Or when do we pause and do our research instead? How do we stay open to what's good in the world without making ourselves too vulnerable? Where's the line between healthy skepticism and living in fear? The truth is that our world is pushing us toward a level of distrust that we've never experienced before. And now that's become a survival skill, unfortunately. But no one wants to live in a world where we assume the worst in everyone and everything. So I'm curious, how do you handle this? How do you stay cautious without becoming too cynical? I'd love to hear your thoughts, because honestly, I believe we're all fighting that fight together. Now, I'm on a mission to be a small but mighty tool for us Gen Xers to help us stay smarter, savvier, more grateful, and even nostalgic, all within this YouTube channel. I'll do my part by gathering the info, packing it up, and bringing it to you in these videos. Now, if you found this information interesting and helpful, I would love for you to join me. I would love for you to subscribe, comment, and hit the like button. Now, I've got another video I'm going to link right here on how Gen Xers can protect their money. I hope you have a great week, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.